So how do you beat Voltron and Commander? Let's find out. So the Voltron strategy is all about getting the Commander into play, putting equipment and auras on it, and then swinging for the kill as quickly as possible. Now some of you guys might say, it's actually impossible to beat a Voltron player 1v1. But that's not true, and I'm going to show you how to beat them. So the first 3 turns of the game pretty much determine the outcome versus a Voltron player. There may not even be a turn 4. So it's very important that you don't keep a slow hand. You want interaction, you want removal, and later on in the game you can deploy your strategy, your combo, whatever. You want to survive into the late game, you can have your big spells later, but you just need to survive if you have any chance of beating a Voltron player. For example, if you don't have a way of stopping their commander attacking you for the first 3 turns, it's pretty much game over for you. Voltron decks make their commander huge, unblockable, and protected. So how do I beat a Voltron deck, you ask? Let's find out. Alright, for one thing, mana. Aggro and fast decks rely on having the right mana at the right time early in the game. If you can disrupt that, you might stand a chance of surviving a Voltron player. Another key component that's really important is their commander. You keep them off their commander, they can't attack you. You increase the tax to resummon that commander, you get into late game, you stand a real chance of beating the Voltron player. So keep removing their commander. Do whatever you can, keep it off the board. So surely these decks must have a weakness. I mean, unblockable, protected, huge creature. How do you beat that? Well, no defense, that's the biggest weakness. They have to go all in on speed, and they have to get you down as fast as possible. The longer you last, the harder it is for the Voltron player to win. So, you want to slow them down as much as possible, and you want to attack them when they're vulnerable, because this hack is going to build up. Eventually you're going to get a window, and you need to use that window. You need to build a board state and attack them. Alright, so here are some of the cards that you need to watch out for when versing a Voltron player. Let's start with Hammer of Nazan. When your opponent plays an equipment spell while Hammer of Nazan is in play, it will equip to their commander for free. If that's not broken enough, it'll also make their commander get +1/+0 and indestructible. This is a very dangerous card. You see that? Remove it. Alright, Sagada's 8. It gives auras and equipment flash and auto equips like Hammer Nazan. This is insane, so watch out for it. It only costs 1 mana. Watch out for Lightning Greaves. This is an equipment that costs 2 mana and they can equip it for nothing. Gives their commander haste and protection. This is dangerous. You see this on the board? Save removal for that. This is all that glitters. It gives them +1/+1 for each artifact and enchantment they have on the battlefield. There's also something called Ancestral Mask, I believe, and that's just for enchantments, and that's in green. Yeah, so watch out for those ones. They're gonna make their commanders huge out of nowhere. Aqueous Form. It's a 1 mana blue enchantment and it makes their commander unblockable. Watch out for this one. You may think you've got a board presence. They could just Aqueous Form out of nowhere. You're dead. So those are the kind of spells you need answers for when versing a Voltron player. I hope this list is useful to you, and know that they're just the categories, and there's a lot of other spells you need to watch out for. Different commanders have different devotion. So you'll be looking out for different equipment, but they all kind of do the same thing. Go big, evade, protect, kill your opponent. Now, one absolutely hilarious way to deal with a Voltron player is to steal their commander. They probably don't have an answer for it. In my experience, like, they're used to trying to protect it, but like having actual removal spells on their own commander, increasing their own tax, I just think that's hilarious. Yeah. Here's some cards to put in your deck to help you beat a Voltron deck. We're gonna start with Glacial Chasm. You know how much I love Glacial Chasm if you've seen in my other videos, but basically you're just slowing them down till like turn 4. It doesn't have to be forever, you can pay the cumulative upkeep cost. I guarantee you 2, 4, 8 life is better than Voltron to the face. So Glacial Chasm is a good land to have in all your decks versus aggro strategies, and especially Voltron and Infect. Swords to Plowshares. This is a whole category, not just a spell. Cheap, creature, removal, spells. Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, I mean there's a whole bunch. Murder. You want creature removal spells in your deck. There's a card here called Innocent Blood. Each player sacrifices a creature. They may have Hexproof, they may have Shroud, they may have Indestructible, but that is not protection against sacrifice. That gets around it. So look into making them sacrifice their Voltron commander. Alright, so check this one out. Meltdown. I run this in like not just against Voltron, but against like most sweaty decks. It says pay X, destroy all artifacts X or less. This can absolutely annihilate a Voltron player. You pump like X equals 4, that'll probably board wipe them, honestly. They'll only deal with their artifacts, but sometimes that's enough. You'll get rid of their fast mana, you get rid of their Swiftfoot boots, their most of their equipment, like It's a really good spell. You've also got Vandal Blast, like basically artifact removal, enchantment removal in this category. Alright, so I alluded to the strategy earlier. I put it on here. Helm of Possession. Pay 2 life, sacrifice a creature, gain control of target creature as long as Helm of Possession remains tapped. Just steal that commander, dude. How to beat Voltron. Steal Voltron! I hope you found this guide on how to beat Voltron decks useful. You know, one thing I didn't mention in this guide, and I've just thought about it now, Commander is a multiplayer format, so if someone sits down at the table with you with a Voltron deck, they're pretty much going to get teamed up on anyway. Maybe one of you will die, but that's a price I'm willing to pay. If you found this video useful, like, subscribe, and comment below which one I should do next. I'm thinking about doing Aristocrats. Whatever gets the most upvotes, I'll do. Alright, thanks for watching. See ya.